Yeah, hi there. These comments are from, I'm just going to use the first letter of your name, S. And let's take a look at your situation. So your TOEFL score was 75. You had 14 points on the reading. You had 17 points in the listening. You had 20 points on the speaking. And you had 24 points on the writing. So you need to get, I think that you said 24 points in every section. Please help me. So it looks like you need to get around 96. So that's about 20 points. And to be conservative, remember, building your academic English language proficiency, it does take some time. And remember that one of the things that makes my course different from a lot of other online courses on the internet is I'm not just giving you some tips and tricks and strategies to navigate through the questions on the TOEFL. I mean, you do practice tests on my course, no doubt, and you do get some test-taking strategies to be sure, but I'm interested in building your academic English language proficiency. I do that through lessons and practice exercises in vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, reading, listening, and then speaking and writing areas. So from what I can tell right now, you're already pretty good in the writing area, so that's good news. The bad news is your reading is not very good at all, and it takes a long time to really make meaningful, long-lasting improvements with your reading. And let me just take a minute and give you a basic idea of what you have to do to improve your reading for the TOEFL IBT and for academic and pleasure reading that you might want to do after you're done with the TOEFL exam. So there's really 5 basic things, S, that you have to do to improve your reading score. I'm going to go over those right now. Number 1 is the first most important thing you can do is to simply start reading. If you're reading, keep reading. But you have to do it over an extended period of time. You want to read for about 45 to 60 minutes every day. Read magazines, newspapers, and longer books. Number 2, you need to learn more vocabulary. You need college-level vocabulary. My course will help you learn 1,700 vocabulary words. That's going to be important. Number 3, you need to improve your reading speed. It's amazing sometimes. I talk to different students who have contact with me. One of the first questions I'll ask is, what is your reading speed? They don't know. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you want to score high on the TOEFL IBT, you need to have a minimum reading speed of about 300 words per minute. Number 4, you need to have knowledge of the reading question types and the strategies for answering each of those questions. This gets into the tips and tricks for the reading section. And then number 5, you need to take TOEFL level reading practice tests. And then after you're done, you want to go over your answers and pay particular attention to those answers you're missing. Ask yourself, why did I miss this question? How can I better apply the TOEFL reading test-taking strategies to this question? If you do those 5 things, you will definitely improve in your reading. But it's going to take you several months to really make that progress. Alright, so now let's talk about your situation now. I just went over some basic things with reading to give you a basic idea of what you want to do. So I actually have 3 suggestions for you. They're pretty similar to what I was telling Sarah in a previous video because both of you guys have similar scores. My advice to you is really 3 things. Follow my advice exactly. Make sure you're reading for about 60 minutes every day. You want to do this at least for about 3 months. You will start seeing results if you keep doing it day after day. Now, the second suggestion I'd like to give you is spend the same amount of time each day with listening materials. You can watch TV programs with a special emphasis maybe on history, science, news, and documentary programs. That's also going to really help you. Remember, my first 2 suggestions, you don't need a book, you don't need a course, you don't need a tutor, you don't need a teacher, you do not need an intensive English program to do these things. You just do these things because you want to. You got to believe that if you do these things, you will get results. You can get results. The question is, how hard are you willing to work, and how consistent are you willing to be in your study? Now, my third tip is my online course. My course is designed to build you in 7 areas. I just went over those a minute ago. Let me go over again. I'm going to build your English language proficiency in vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, reading, listening, writing, and speaking areas. So by improving your basic and advanced English language proficiencies in these 7 areas, guess what's going to happen when you take the TOEFL test? Your score is going to go higher, right? Because your English is better. So that's my next suggestion, is spend about 2 hours each day going through the lessons in my online TOEFL course. And specifically, I suggest, now you don't have to, but once you become one of my students, you will have unlimited access to all of my lessons in my 7-step system. But I do recommend you follow my 90-day TOEFL study guide. It's specifically designed to make sure you're getting practice in those 7 areas. Because students sometimes, they tend to do more study in what they're more comfortable in. For example, you. I had a student a few months ago. He did many different practice tests. His writing score I kept giving him was 29 out of 30, 28 out of 30. He had very strong writing skills. However, his speaking wasn't strong at all. What did he do? He kept practicing more in the writing area and not as much in the speaking area. I told him, I go, wait a minute. Why are you doing so much practice in the writing part of my course? We can already tell, and I've already established with you, that your writing is very strong. However, your speaking is not that good. You need more practice in the speaking area, right? So what my study guide will help you do is, each week it'll make sure you're practicing in all 7 areas of my course. You're not just practicing in the areas that you like. And the one that you probably will have the most trouble with, I'll be honest with you, is vocabulary, because a lot of students don't like to do the work involved to learn the vocabulary words. Remember, just reading a list is not enough. You have to take the words from the list and transfer them onto note cards, putting the vocabulary word on one side, and then on the other side you can put the sample sentence, definition, maybe parts of speech of the word. So step by step, one lesson at a time, one day at a time, you can get better. All right? You got to believe it. Now, in this YouTube video, in the description box, I will include a link to my 90-day TOEFL study guide that I recommend for you. It's just a recommendation. Remember that you have unlimited access to all 630 of my lessons immediately upon your joining my course. And the 90-day TOEFL study guide is a suggestion of what I think you can work on in my course, based on the scores that you just gave me right now. All right, anyway, thank you very much for your comments, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.